This video is coming to you fresh from Japan, and if you know anything about my channel, you know I'm here in Tokyo, Japan. I've been shooting content for YouTube for about 2.5 years about sneakers, and when sneakers like these come along, I'm not missing a beat on them. A Tokyo, Japan-centric sneaker, not just one though. There's another Air Max 90 coming down the line, and there's an Air Max 95 too, and they're all about Japan, centered on Japan. And this one in particular, it's all about fried chicken at the convenience store, and I'm going to be taking you through the shoe bit by bit, showing you some angles on it so you can see the way that the upper works, because it's all about a very clot, and hopefully I'll be able to find some image here of a clot sneaker where you see the upper getting peeled away to reveal a second upper down below. And these guys here today is all about that. It's a little bit different though, because often with things like clot and the designer brands, there's more of a wear effect, but in the case of these guys, it's peeling away that upper and then revealing the second upper below that in some places, which was a surprise to me because I thought the whole thing would come away. But I'm putting my money on certain parts of this shoe being peelable and others not. So we'll get into all that today as we have a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Max 90 Family Chicken Swoosh Mart. Let's see what it's called in today's video. This is the Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel Diz. My name's Upstream all day, my name's Peter Design every single day. From Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews, and we're right on the limit, right on the edge of where I like to be. This video is probably going to go up on March 4th, maybe 3rd, and the shoes are dropping on March 20th, so we're like 2 and a bit weeks ahead of schedule, and I usually like to be 10 days to 14 days ahead of schedule, but we're about 16 days ahead of schedule. But it's such an iconic shoe, it's such a big shoe, and it's such a Japan-centric shoe. I just had to pull the trigger a little bit early and go dive in on these guys now. And the same with tomorrow's shoe, which I think is the Onigiri, and then it'll be the day after that we'll look at the 95s, which release a bit later on as well. But I just need to get in there and talk about these shoes. Being here in Tokyo, Japan, it is right where I want to be talking about. It's a bit of an unusual shoe. I mean, it's got a cartoon sort of feel to it, but still, it's all about the convenience stores, and it's all about this right here. Here's a shot of what a convenience store cash register looks like here in Tokyo, Japan. Now, I don't know what this looks like. Most of my viewers are in the States, and if you guys can tell me what it's like to go convenience store shopping in the States, I'd truly appreciate that. And then back home in the UK, where I'm from, I don't know if we even do convenience stores. I've been out here for more than 20 years, so I'm not really up to speed on things like that. But this is what it looks like in Japan. You go to the cash register, and right beside the cash register you've got some really delicious foods. Now, in the movies, and that's all I can go on, can't go on real life experience, but in the movies, when you go to America and you see these things, usually they're full of pretty limp rubbish food, and I don't know if that's an accurate portrayal of the convenience store foods, but here in Japan they are absolutely delicious. The food that you can get at the convenience store is very, very fresh. I would say that day fresh. I don't think they sell food more than 24 hours. If it's been on the shelf for more than 24 hours in that rotation, that rotisserie sort of thing, they're getting rid of it, and you'll get fresh stuff right in there. So it's A, fresh, B, delicious, and C, very varied. And if we're looking at this shoe today, it's all about the chicken, the Family Chicken they call it, which is Family Mart, is a convenience store here, and I don't know if they have Family Marts in the rest of the world. Again, let me know in the comments down below. And that chicken there, it comes in so many different flavors as well, just plain chicken, but then there's also a spicy variant that's delicious. Pepper chicken sometimes you get in there as well, garlic chicken, all of this stuff really juicy, really fresh, right there at the cash register. Very hard to resist if you're, buying something like, chuck a bit of chicken in there. And the yellow and white sort of stripes on the shoe today, it's all about the wrapping that chicken would come in. It's a paper wrap, and what they'll do is put the chicken inside the paper wrap and tape the top shut, and there's a perforated edge where you can pop it open, hold it by the paper, and then eat the chicken so you don't get greasy and oily hands. Again, I don't know what it's like overseas. It might be exactly like that in other countries, or this might just be how they do it in Japan and only in Japan. So that's kind of the background to the shoe. That's why I'm so excited about doing it. But now we need to get into the hits on it and talk about the branding and where all the different parts of the shoe are. Now I'm going to take a little 90-degree turn and go off in a different direction, because there's part of the shoe that's being overlooked, which is ridiculous because it's the most bling bling part of the shoe. And what I'm talking about is the tongs. So let's start with the insole out, which means that behind me here on the green screen you'll see the insoles, but actually out of the shoe, not looking down into the shoe. And you can see there's tongs on each of those two insoles there, and that's very Japanese. Again, don't know about other countries, but using those tongs to move the food around and put it in that little paper bag that I was talking about. So right on there, you've got those tongs, which everybody I think is aware of. But then on the outside of the shoe, you've got three places where the silver shiny pop of those metallic tongs is coming through. But because of that removable upper and that yellow and white striping effect, silver, which you'd think wouldn't get overlooked, is getting very much overlooked in this shoe. So I'm going to start there, and we'll go up to the lace stays, and you can see the two classic design lace stays at the top of the Air Max 90s, lower in the lacing system and higher in the lacing system. Usually they come in a rubber or some kind of polythene, polyester effect material, but in the case of these guys, still in those materials I'm sure, but with that silver detailing on there to represent those tongs. And then back to the swoosh, and again we've got the silver swoosh, but the one place that I really dig the silver on here, and it is absolutely popping off the shoe, is that classic standard branding on the back of an Air Max 90 that looks like this, except for on this shoe it's all silver, silver on silver, so it's not like black on silver or yellow on silver. It's silver branding on that silver background, and it looks absolutely fire on any other Air Max 90. It would be the selling point, but in the case of these guys, it's the upper that overrides that, and then it's what the upper does. So let's have a look at that right now. Now what I'll do is, first and foremost, I'll show you some places where it says open, and you'll be able to see on the shoe that the upper in that yellow and white striping, it says open in certain places, the idea being that you peel that back and it'll peel away the top layer and reveal a second layer down below. So those open places is your start point, and then what I'll do is I'll bring you up a picture here that shows you the toe box and the front of the toe being peeled away, and you can see it's a full-on flap to reveal a much more solid color underneath. And there are certain parts of the shoe where what's underneath is very cartoony and kind of popping, but I want to stop on that toe box, and I'll show you some pictures of this to give you an idea of this, because this is where you can really sense and this is a personal opinion, but I'm sure I'm right, so maybe it's a fact, but you get a sense on here is where the bits of the upper that are designed to peel away and the bits that are not. I thought the whole thing would be peel away-able, but now I'm looking at this here, and the picture I'm showing you here should give you the idea that I'm talking about. And what I really want to focus in is the area around the laces that hold the lace in place. I'm not talking about the eyelets, I'm talking about the whole leather panel that houses the entire lacing system, and then also lower down around about the quarter line and the toe box overlays. If you really focus on that yellow and white striping on there, you can see that it's very solid and very not peelable in my opinion. But when you look at the peelable sections, you can see it's almost a paper effect, a ripple effect that isn't hugging tight to the shoe because it's so easy to remove. So the places where it does hug tight to the shoe, the places where it is flat and uniform, I'm saying they are not removable, and then the places where there's a sort of dimpled effect or a sort of airy on the inside effect, that's your points where there's going to be removable things. Now one of those places that I'm not so sure about is on the, I don't think it's a midfoot, so it's a bit behind the midfoot, but the standard Air Max 90 branding panel on there, it looks like it's removable. I think it is, but I haven't found any pictures to show me what's underneath that and show you guys what's underneath that too. So, but that little panel on there is a question mark. Hopefully it's showing up on the green screen and you've got an idea of what I'm talking about. And another place that's overlooking the shoes, we started with the silver bits being overlooked because the yellow and white striping is so overpowering and the removable upper is so overpowering. Another thing, and a good place to end this video, is what's overlooked is the outsole, which looks like this, a semi-translucent gum sole outsole. Again, on any other shoe it would be massive and people would be hugely interested in that. An Air Max 90 with a semi-translucent outsole, but it's kind of lost on this shoe. Everybody's eyes are focused on that removable upper, what's underneath, which panels are removable and which aren't, and they're missing out on those classic kind of silver branding panels to represent the tongs, and also that outsole there, that semi-translucent gum sole on the outside of these guys, which is a beautiful feature of the shoe as well. So all in all, I mean, there's a lot to take in with this shoe and a lot of detailing. There's a great story. It feels like I'm talking for something that I know perfectly well, because the convenience stores here are everywhere. Of course, I'm in Tokyo, so it's one of the most advanced cities in the world, so it's very convenient to live here. If you go out into the countryside, it's a different story, but still, even in the countryside of Japan, it's not too far to get to a convenience store. So they are all over the place. In one city block, you'll have 5 or 6 convenience stores here in Tokyo. So this for me, a shoe about that, something I can easily talk about and hopefully convey to you guys out there my sort of excitement for a shoe like this coming down the line. Normally, I'd also be very interested in getting my hands on these guys, but there is that other 90s, which I think are the Onigiris, and then the 95s, which I think are I can't remember if they're Japan or Tokyo, but when I do the video about them, I'll be able to give you more details. And of course, I have my own pair of Air Max 95 Mount Fujis that have Tokyo on the bottom and Mount Fuji on the tongue. So whether I pull the trigger on these guys or not will be, it'll depend on which one of them catches my eye. But for now, happy to bring you the first of 3 sneakers that are upcoming releases about Tokyo and about Japan and about life here, and looking forward to doing the other 2 over the next few weeks. For now though, time for me to sign off, and I'll just wrap up the video the way I wrap up every single video, which is to remind you that I do this every single day. And because I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.